The Boys Season 3 finale, a first look at Namor in Black Panther 2, and Ms. Marvel Episode 5. We're talking all this and more in this week's show. I'm your host, Nick.
And I'm Anthony.
And welcome to That Superhero Thing podcast.
Let's do it.
Anthony, have you recovered from Stranger Things Volume 2?
Mate, it's not okay. We literally pressed play on that at 20 to midnight, knowing that we were not going to finish till 2 a.m. and it was dot on 2 o'clock in the morning. I was an emotional wreck.
I know, you texted me and said you were a mess.
And then I saw a TikTok and went downstairs to tell my mum about it, and I burst into tears and went back to bed because I was really sad. I was
amazing.
Okay.
So we're not going to do any Stranger Things spoilers in this episode, but we will be covering the last 2 episodes of the series in this month's Patreon episode, which will be out towards the end of the month, I think.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Quick fire question. What's better, The Boys or Stranger Things?
Stranger Things.
Another one. What's better, Stranger Things or Ms. Marvel? Can't even do Stranger Things.
Listen.
I tried.
Stranger Things is like my top 3.
I think
all time.
I think Stranger Things episode 9. That was the last one, wasn't it? That's one of the best films I've ever seen. It is. It's true. I wasn't even making a joke. It's a 2.5-hour episode. It's one of the best films.
And it didn't need an introduction because you've had the whole series.
It didn't. It was like watching a Marvel movie. It was like Endgame. Yeah. It was good. It was cracking. Right, should we crack on then? So, as always, before we get into the reviews, we'll be breaking down all this week's biggest news stories, and we'll be listening to all your thoughts and theories at the end of the show in Podfans Assemble. We've got timestamps in the description for you too, in case you want to skip ahead straight to the reviews. Don't forget to, if you enjoy the show, please make sure to follow the show on your favourite podcast platform and leave us a rating or review. The more subs and reviews that we get, the more people will get to listen to the show, and it helps us out massively. News then. So we talked about it in the opening. We got our first look at Namor the Submariner in Black Panther 2. That was really hard to say.
I would have said all of that completely wrong.
I know.
I'd have said NAMOR, and I'd have said Submariner.
I know, yeah. That was really, it took a lot of effort on my part there not to say that. So we've known for a while that this dude was going to be appearing in the sequel, and that he's been being played by Tenoch. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I might have just butchered that, I'm sorry. But that's pretty much all we knew. So now promo art has found its way online. I think it looks boss, to be fair. If you've not seen it,
it's different, isn't it?
Very different.
Compared to what we've seen on most of the characters.
Well,
on all
anything
the characters.
Else, yeah.
Male or female.
Exactly, yeah. You can head over to our Twitter for a full look, but basically they've stayed pretty true to the comics with a bit of a Aztec Mayan twist to it, would you say?
Yeah.
It's gone a little bit different from the comics.
Like Lost City type.
Yeah.
But I assume that's because Atlantis, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. It looks good, though. They've even kept his winged ankles, because that's what he uses to fly, apparently, in the comics.
Okay.
I was going to ask what you think. You've kind of already told us. Your text today, I sent Anthony the picture today, and I just got a message saying, what the fuck is that?
I was so confused.
No idea.
There was no context to it. You just sent me that, and I was like, what am I looking at?
It looks good.
Why are you sending me a half-naked man?
No, he didn't complain. No. I think it looks. I think it looks decent. They've gone. I wondered how they were going to keep it comic accurate, and it's not exactly comic accurate, obviously, but they've done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
I think they've done what they can with a live-action movie without it looking stupid.
Yeah.
It's getting close to looking stupid, but it's not. And we put on Twitter as well, we asked you guys what you thought of it, and it was an overwhelmingly positive response. To be fair, everybody thought it looked really good, so I think they've done well. There's still no real indication of how he's going to factor into the sequel, because he's been both a hero and a villain in the comics, so he could be either or could be both.
So do we think at this point then that's going to be the connection to Infinity War Endgame? Do you remember when they had the meeting?
Yeah.
And they said they'd heard
underwater volcanoes.
Yeah.
It's got to be, hasn't it?
Yeah.
They wouldn't just drop that in. No. Marvel plan 10 years ahead.
So do you reckon they'll do like a little flashback to that scene and then be like...
No, I just think it's just a... It's like they did, like when they previously mentioned Wakanda in like Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
they didn't like flash back to it. It's just teasers. Do you get what I mean? I think that's all it is. I was going to say I'm excited because it's only a couple of weeks now until we probably find out all this stuff.
I know, yeah. Comic-Con.
San Diego Comic-Con. Cannot wait. The movie as well is also, it's scheduled still for November 11th this year. So we should expect a trailer pretty soon, if not at Comic-Con. Yeah, I would imagine.
I'd have thought so.
But yeah, if it's there, we'll be covering it.
Because we still don't know what's happening with Black Panther as a character, do we?
No idea. I thought we'd know by now.
I still think it's his sister. I think
that's like 5 months away.
Yeah.
How have we not had a trailer?
It's not even. It's now 4 because we're in July.
Hang on. It's been a long day. I can't do the maths.
7 to 11.
How many times am I going to say I've got a degree in maths
Use your fingers.
and I'm a mortgage advisor? I was counting. I was going July, August. No, I know. Yeah, sorry. We'll move that. We'll move on. Quickly. Let's distract them. Let's do a flash update.
Oh,
I feel. I know.
That took me a second, and I was like, no.
I do feel like we need a theme tune for the flash update every week, like flash breaking news or something like that, because we cover it every week, every single week.
I know.
So this week, Variety are reporting on the situation.
Yeah.
They've said there's no news on Ezra's future in the role, but Warner Brothers have said that they're committed to releasing the movie in theatres still next year. Apparently, they've spent upwards of $200 million on it so far, and they're not wasting it, and they're also not going to go and spend hundreds of $1 million reshooting.
This is exactly what I thought was going to happen.
They're just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I still think they should drop it on HBO Max. I really do.
Yeah.
But they're not going to. They're just going to hope. Hope it all blows over. That is the plan at the moment. Variety have also said that Ezra is going to be focusing on health and healing over the coming months. Basically, exactly. Basically, they've locked Ezra
in a 6x6.
They've locked him up somewhere, and it's just like, let's just hope that there's no big kickoffs between now and whenever this eventually comes out. I've seen online, before we finish on here, there's quite a few people pushing Elliot Page.
Yes, I've seen this.
I kind of love that.
Yeah.
Do you? I did. At first, I was like,
that.
what? And then I was like, that fits.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. Warner Brothers, fix it. Get rid of Ezra. Bring in Elliot Page. Yeah. I'm 100% on board
I'm behind
with
that. Yeah.
I am.
Totally.
He was boss in Umbrella Academy.
Yeah,
really good. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's talk some other potential casting. So, Taron Egerton, and his mate Taron Egerton, kinda, has discussed why are you mate to Taron Egerton?
I kind of met him at a party.
There you go.
It was like, that's it.
Hang on, I feel like we need to backtrack now. Met Taron Egerton at a party. Go on.
Okay, so basically, when I went to uni in Wales, as you do, I was invited to one of my friend's parties, and he was like in the circles with that friend
because he went to the uni.
No, I think that's where he lived.
Oh, okay.
I think it's where he's from or nearby. So I'd gone to this party. He was at the party.
Yeah.
We'd kind of... Because I remember the first time I saw him in a film and I was like, I know that face
from somewhere.
I've seen that face before. And it turned out, it was at this party. I can't verify it. There's no pictures or anything. You don't want to believe me. You don't have to.
So you might not have met him.
But no, I did definitely meet him. Okay, we didn't. I think I just kind of...
What was he like? Was he sound? Did you actually speak to him?
I didn't actually speak to him. I was that kind of timid person in the corner because this was a group that was a little bit more leery than I tend to be. So I was kind of like being there because it was my mate's party and I was being a mate.
There you go. That's a superhero thing exclusive. Taron Egerton is a really, really drunk nutter who was dead Larry at a party. There you go. We'll take that. Don't quote us on that. Anyway, Taron Egerton, he has discussed apparently playing Wolverine with Marvel. So he was promoting his new Apple TV series Blackbird this week with an interview with the New York Times, and he basically asked if there's any chance of him playing Logan, and he said he'd actually met with Kevin Feige about the role. He said, I'd be excited, but I'd be apprehensive as well, because Hugh is so associated with the role. Hopefully it does come round and they'll give me a shot. Surely if he's talking about it, though, it's not happening. That's how I see it. If he'd signed on for Wolverine, he'd signed an NDA. He can't cock up that bad that quick. It's not Tom Holland.
Do you reckon he would have signed an NDA, though?
Yeah, I feel like if it was...
try and keep it a secret?
Until, with 3 weeks off Comic-Con or 2 weeks off Comic-Con, if you're going to announce it, you'd announce it at Comic-Con, you wouldn't let him let it slip.
Yeah.
Now, we've still got no idea when we'll even see any mutants in the proper timeline, so we don't know. I suppose there's always a chance, but I don't know. It feels too obvious for me.
I want something to drop in as a surprise. The way we got Patrick Stewart, for example, although it was spoiled a little bit before we did it.
By all Marvel's own TV spots.
Yeah,
and trailers.
But, just it's there and in your face suddenly, and it's complete like shock.
Yeah,
I just want that to happen so that I just have a moment of.
We've got no idea that he's even coming in a movie or something like that, and he just drops in.
Yeah,
that'd be good. Well, we've got 2 apparently really big post-credit scenes for Thor tomorrow, so yeah, could be.
So excited, it's unreal.
Who should play Wolverine? Go on, dream casting for Wolverine in the MCU.
I mean, well, this is the thing. So I'd be okay with Taron, but we also talked about.
Yeah, but we don't want. I'll be okay. Who's perfect casting?
Well, we also talked about thingy from The Boys, didn't we?
Carl Urban?
Yeah,
he'd be good.
And I can't get that one out of my head now since we've talked about it.
Is he a bit too old though? Didn't we have this conversation? Isn't like
we
50?
Did, and I don't know. It depends how long he's going to be in it for.
What about Daniel Radcliffe?
No.
Ben Schwartz. He's my go-to for everything. I'd watch a Ben Schwartz Wolverine movie. So would you?
Yeah, no.
You'd have to go and watch it.
I'd feel like I was watching kind of a Deadpool type film now, breaking the fourth wall.
I can't think of who I want for Wolverine. I don't really want Taron Egerton either. I'm not got anything against him. I think he'd be a good Wolverine.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's perfect for it. You know, sometimes when they cast people and it's just like, wow, that is absolutely perfect. I feel like with Taron Egerton, to a degree, we're making do. And the same with like even Tom Hardy. I know a lot of people think Tom Hardy would be great for the role, but I think he's too old.
Yeah.
He's too big a star to go and take on Wolverine, having been Bane and having been who is he? Venom. Venom as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. I think I've seen a few people saying Dacre Montgomery from Stranger Things. I think he'd be a good Wolverine.
Who's that?
Billy.
Again? Billy.
I think Billy could pull off Wolverine. He's young enough, but he's always looked 40. Even when he was in Power Rangers playing a 17-year-old, he's always looked about 40. So I think he could do it.
How old is he?
I don't know. He must be like 30.
Okay.
Ish. Yeah, I don't know. 32.
Yeah, I could see 32. Him doing it, to be fair.
I think he'd be good.
Yeah.
I think he'd be good. I want somebody like that. I think Taron Egerton's too obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah. Should we move on to some rumours? Okay. Talking about other potential sort of surprise cameos and surprise characters.
Yeah.
So, rumour number 1. There is a rumour that She-Hulk is going to introduce a member of the Fantastic Four, and we're just literally going to see this member.
This is what I want. This is where I want things to just drop now and just be like, bang, there it is.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're going to like this one, but we'll have a go. Take it with a pinch of salt. So this was literally started by an insider on Reddit, and apparently Ben Grimm, a.k.a. The Thing, is going to appear in 2 or 3 episodes of She-Hulk, and he's already going to be powered, and she's going to be defending him in a defamation case.
Right, okay.
So we're not going to see the origin, we're not going to see human Ben Grimm or anything like that.
We're just going to get...
It's just going to be the thing, and he's going to fight in the episodes and all that sort of stuff. Do you want to know? Have a guess at who they're saying is cast as Ben Grimm?
Oh no,
You're never going to get it. I don't get it.
Oh no.
It's not Ben Schwartz. It's as weird. Jason Segel? Anthony's face.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why you'd be Ben Grimm.
Strike me as
the voice.
Yeah.
You need I think with Ben
Grimm.
That's
why I was all about Hank from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I think he's too old as well.
I think he might be too old.
You need a very distinct voice for a character that's completely CGI.
Yeah.
I mean, Seth Rogen's a bit of a joke.
Yeah, exactly. All of those kind of things, you just...
Seth Rogen's been sort of like battered about as a name in the past, and as much as it's more,
I don't think I could cope with him running away from something going.
Neither do I.
Doing his laugh, I just wouldn't be able to.
And I don't think he can go back after doing The Boys and Sitcoms a lot 77. I think that's his Marvel career ruined. But yeah, Jason Segel. I like Jason Segel. He's not been in anything for about 200 years.
He's been quiet.
He's been quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But I just don't get it. But we'll see. I'm not too sure I believe it anyway. Finally, another rumour just came out yesterday I think it was. So there's some details of Daredevil's appearance in the upcoming Echo series. So according to the Weekly Planet, he's going to be in 3 episodes. Okay. Again, a lot of 3 episodes here. He's going to have a red and black suit, not the yellow suit that a lot of the rumours were originally pointing at, because in the comics he originally had a yellow suit.
Right, okay.
And they said that's the way they're going to go with the MCU, just to be a bit different.
Yeah.
Apparently not. And he's going to be looking for Jessica Jones in the series.
Well, there's been a thing online, hasn't there?
About the title change on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So what they've done is they've changed the title of the show from Jessica Jones to AKA Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
But why would they just randomly do that?
Exactly.
Unless they were getting ready for a new Jessica Jones series, or a new Jessica Jones movie.
Do you reckon they'll still use?
I hope so. She was good.
Jessica Jones was one of the ones that I watched at the time, and I only got about 4 episodes in because life got in the way.
Yeah,
but I enjoyed what she was doing.
I think she did really well. Yeah, I mean, I think I watched like this first half of the second series. I didn't even know that. I think there's a third series. I
think there's 3 altogether, but I'm not 100% sure.
I really enjoyed the first series, but I don't know whether it was a lot down to David Tennant, because David Tennant was so good in that. The Purple Man. He was like scary.
I want to watch it. I'm going to sit and watch it again, I think.
I need to go through all the Defenders shows.
Well, I've watched all of Daredevil now.
Have you? Did you do the whole thing?
Yeah.
I've only done first 2 series, I think. Yeah.
It did dip in season 2. Like a lot of people have said it did dip in season 2.
Did it? That's when I lost interest.
Became a bit of a hard watch.
Is series 3 good?
I didn't like Elektra.
No, she's a pain in the arse.
No, even.
No,
I agree. But season 3 kind of picked back up again and stuff, so.
It felt like one of them, I think all of them did to a degree. They were trying to be really, really dark and gritty, but it looked like they were putting a lot of effort into it, and I hate it when shows come across as really, really trying hard to be dark when it's not been going that way. It doesn't need to be that dark, do you know what I mean? If it's just the way that the story goes, fair play, I'm alright with it. Yeah. Like, one of my favourite movies is The Departed. That's just a dark film, a dark, gritty film, and just because it is, do you know what I mean? And it's just naturally that way. But these all felt like, with Netflix, we're allowed to be an 18 now, or a fully R-rated. Let's just go as far as we can with it. I didn't like it, but that's why I'm quite looking forward to Marvel doing what they're going to do with it, because I think they'll probably get the right balance. Yeah. So fingers crossed. That's us for news, though. Should we do this week's reviews?
Yes.
So let's start with. Should we start with The Boys finale?
Yeah.
So spoilers for The Boys.
Everyone dies.
They do. Yeah. Spoilers for Ms. Marvel later on, in case I forget to do this.
Everyone dies.
Everyone dies in that as well. God, I wish they would. Anyway, let's stick with The Boys. So, The Boys finale, The Instant White Hot Wild. Yet another name that I don't get. I think the only episode title that I've understood is Herogasm. Yeah. Of all of these. Everything else, I'm just like, what? Yeah, no, I don't get it. Amazing.
Oh, actually, I do actually understand the white hot thing.
What, because of Soldier Boy?
No.
Why?
Starlight.
Yeah, there you go.
White hot.
White hot. Yeah, okay. I'm alright with it. Take that back. I completely understand that title now. I'm lying. I still don't really get it. Anyway, boss finale. So good. I really had concerns when we watched this. You have to bear with us. It's been weeks since we watched this. Yeah. And we're trying to. I think we've done all right notes. We've kind of figured out what happened. We might be completely
Our ability
wrong.
to watch it again and double check it has gone.
It's completely disappeared. Yeah.
We're just having to go off memory.
I thought, especially after watching Herogasm, that this episode wouldn't be able to stack up against Herogasm because it was so good. And again, last episode, season 7, it was a completely different type of episode. It was much more somber and it was going for a different feel. Yeah. It felt like this was going for something closer to Herogasm, but more action related. It nailed it. It absolutely nailed it. We'll break down the episode in a little bit, but this series of The Boys is...
It's blown the other two out the water completely.
Massively. Yeah, it's easily the best episode of The Boys by a mile. It's one of the best comic book movie TV series ever. Yeah. It's absolutely brilliant. That's going up against the likes of like Marvel and stuff.
So I've seen a thing, by the way, and I just need to jump back. Do you remember in episode 1, that scene, 11 minutes in?
Termite, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way Anthony knows exactly how many minutes and seconds it is.
So, did you know that wasn't CGI?
Yes.
They built a set.
Yeah, I know.
And they had a giant.
I know, yeah, I've seen it.
I've never laughed so hard in my life as when I saw the 20 little men all stood around setting it up. It was hilarious. But I just needed to...
I want to know where that set is now. Who's kept that?
It's now the entrance. It's like a clown house or something.
Yeah. You just know some like really weird and wonderful pop stars got that in the garden.
Next park.
Yeah, exactly. That's got to be somewhere. There's no way they just took that apart and destroyed it.
No,
that's in someone's house, that, and we'll never know. Anyway, brilliant episode.
Yes, lots
to talk about. We'll wrap up with the end fight, but it was full on all the way through. So we got, I mean, a big focus of the episode, it's obviously Homelander. Just so many things going on. So Homelander and Noir, Homelander and Black Noir. That was
intense.
It was, and it really surprised me.
It really surprised me. I wasn't expecting that to happen at all.
I thought, because we mentioned this, we got told off by one of our listeners a couple of weeks ago for mentioning that in the comics, which to be fair is like a 14-year-old comic, and it's not the same as the comics, clearly.
Yeah.
But it's, in the comics, Black Noir is a clone of Homelander.
Yeah.
And right up until he died, I still was like, please don't happen.
Yeah.
Please don't happen, because I don't want people going, you've spoiled the season finale 4 weeks ago. So a little bit, I was happy that he died, but he's a good character.
I'm also gutted he died, because he was a good character.
I am gutted he died, but a little bit, I was like, thank God he's not a clone. They've clearly, otherwise they're never getting stuff off Amazon again. They've clearly twisted that story arc from the comics into Homelander being the clone of Soldier Boy, haven't they?
Yeah.
But like a different clone, if you get what I mean. But that's clearly where they've gone with it. So I was quite happy that they weren't going to go that route.
No.
But yeah, it still massively surprised me, because in the back of my head I thought there's got to be more to come from Black Noir.
Yeah.
And it was brutal.
It was.
I felt really sorry for Black Noir. Not that I don't think until last episode, when he started talking to the cartoons and we first saw him, his sort of like childlike mental state, that I'd feel sorry for him, because he's just a bit of a scumbag. He's just a machine.
Way to flip it on its head completely after we've had 3 seasons of him.
Of him being the big scary one who you don't talk to. He's like the I was going to say the dark character, obviously he's Black Noir, but he's that character who's got no personality and who could just snap at any minute, and you don't know what he's capable of.
But there's something so scarily calm about him when he does it as well. That's the thing.
Yeah, there's no emotion there. No, he could quite happily
go around. There's no anger.
It's
just like if he's going to snap your neck, he's going to snap your neck.
And that's the difference between Homelander and Black Noir. Homelander is angry when he does these things.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care for human life at all.
No.
But there's still a sense of there's an emotional response there, whether it's anger or cockiness or anything. Black Noir is nothing. Deadpan, no emotion, no joy out of doing it, being upset about doing it. So to see him again, like we said in the last episode, scared, but then actually succumbing to Homelander, and it was really gory as well. Just ripped his insides out. Me. It got me when all the cartoons all crept up and they started crying.
I know,
that was horrible.
It was really sad.
I didn't like that.
No, not at all.
It wasn't as bad as the end of Stranger Things, but we were close. But again, I thought it was really good. Very, very clever way of doing it, because who is going to mourn him other than his own subconscious characters? Do you know what I mean? Because nobody gives a shit. I suppose the only person...
Nobody knows him, do they?
Apart from Homelander, the only real person who would mourn this dude...
is the one that killed him.
Is the dude that killed him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm a bit sad that that's the end of Black Noir.
Yeah, me.
We're running out of... we're running out of 7. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We are. We're proper running out.
But, I mean, I know we said kind of technically with the test tubey baby type situation with Homelander and Soldier Boy, but if Homelander covers up that death, could he potentially, now that he knows about that, clone himself to create the next Black Noir? Could that be a thing?
Oh, we've just ruined season 4.
Could you imagine?
Shit.
If I got that right, I'd go and do a dance in the street.
I'll be so impressed.
But that could genuinely be a thing.
He could do, yeah.
So...
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I do. I mean, we'll get more to it, I suppose, towards the end of the review. But my understanding of the comics is that the reveal of him being a clone of Homelander is like the end of the comic series, or towards the end of the comic series. Right. And I feel like we've now got to the point in the series where it's on its own now.
Yeah.
And it's going to use certain things to influence it.
Yeah.
And we might drag in, characters who appeared earlier on in the comics, but it feels a bit more free.
Yeah.
And I like it when we get to that point in the series where we run out of it, although it doesn't always work.
No.
Cough, cough, Game of Thrones. Because that was just shit. But I've got high hopes for this. I think this is going to be good.
Yeah,
what my only concern is, and I know this is normally something we talk about at the end, I don't want it to go on forever.
No.
They need to wrap this up in like series 5 or something, because how especially where we leave Homelander at the end of this episode, which we'll get to, but how much further can he go? the next step now is for him to become some sort of god, killing everybody. Do you get what I mean? So
I wonder whether we do one more season and then maybe a time jump.
Sort of like Stranger Things.
Yeah. Because that would be interesting, because obviously there's a lot more that you can do with the story then.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the next series, Homelander went completely mental. And even though we've run out of source material for the boys, they can drag it from other places. I sort of see it maybe as at the end of next series, during the time jump, it goes something similar to Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, where Superman is now just a machine going around killing everybody, and everyone's on the run from Superman. He's killed half of humanity. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's where we went. Yeah. But we've obviously got Billy's situation at the end of the episode as well, haven't we? So again, we'll get to that. Let's talk about a few other bits before we get to the end then. So what else we got? We've got Homelander has got Ryan. Yeah. He's taken Ryan. Yeah. And he's decided he wants to be a dad now, because his dad is here now, and he doesn't like the fact that his dad wasn't there. Is that kind of it? Daddy wasn't there. He's got daddy issues. What's that from?
It's from Austin Powers.
Oh, yeah. That's the most random pull.
Sorry. It just popped into my head.
I still only got it about 2 seconds ago. I couldn't picture where it was, but I remember. What was he? Was he singing a song?
Yeah, it's just after we find out about his dad, Nigel, whatever his name was. Yeah. And then he sings at his club, doesn't he? His house.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I know the whole song. It's not okay.
Do you? Go on. Oh, he was going to do it then. He was really going to sing. Anyway, moving on.
Save that for another day.
Moving on quick. So, there's not really much more to talk about. I mean, there's it's the fight. That's it. So
a lot of this episode was that fight.
A lot of the episode was the fight. Starlight and Huey get locked in the safe at Billy's. Yeah. Maeve goes round as well, and they end up locking them in the safe, don't they? Because they don't want to. Who goes? Is it Frenchie, Kimiko, Maeve, and Billy go to Vought Tower, and then Huey, and Starlight get locked in the safe? Is that right?
I don't know, because Starlight ends up there, doesn't she?
Yeah, she breaks out the safe though.
Okay.
Billy turns all.
That's right then.
I think Billy turns all the lights off and says she'll get power from the light, and then obviously she ends up getting out from there. So I mean, we'll talk about the fight. So there's multiple fights.
There is multiple fights. It's brilliant the way they've done it.
It's so good because it's little short fights rather than having to, probably from a production perspective, having to choreograph some massive fight. Yeah. It's a little bit all over the place, but in a good way. Yeah. But it keeps you guessing.
Totally.
You go in there and it's like, right, it's gonna be Soldier Boy goes with them, obviously. It's gonna be Soldier Boy and Billy and Maeve v Homelander. Yeah. And that very, very quickly turns to completely Homelander and Billy versus Soldier Boy and Maeve.
Yeah.
Because Billy doesn't want Soldier Boy to hurt Ryan because he won't move out the way. Yeah. And again, it threw me completely. Yeah. And I think that's potentially a sign of what's to come, because we talked last week about Jeffrey Dean Morgan coming to the series.
Yes.
I really can see a reluctant team up, but a team up between Billy and Homelander. Yeah. I'd love to see them have to fight alongside each other properly rather than just sort of like for 2 seconds in this. Yeah. But it was good. It was just how, as I said, it kept you guessing. So we ended up with Billy versus Soldier Boy, who again, Billy can proper hold his own when he's on V24. Can I just point out
that point when Homelander and Billy decide to go for him together? Yeah. That little weird nod and acknowledgement, and Homelander's like his facial expression, it's almost like a smirk, but it's not quite, and it really unsettled me, I'm not gonna lie to you. It made me feel awkward as hell, but I was loving every second of it at the same time. It's the meaning of
it as well though, isn't it? Is it a smirk because you need me, and you're gonna even though you hate me, you're gonna have to fight alongside me, or is it just pure humour of holy shit, we're fighting alongside each other?
I was also wondering whether it's Homelander going, like, this is going to be a proper fight, because surely as Homelander, yes, he loves the power, but when was his last real fight?
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
like this is the first time we've seen him actually have fisticuffs with somebody. Yeah, because normally you can just kill him in a second. Yeah. So I don't know whether it's like I finally got a nemesis kind of thing at the same time,
He's such a complicated character.
Yeah, I know.
So Anthony Starr is fantastic.
Listen, that Homelander Maeve fight was incredible.
Anthony Starr as Wolverine. I'd be all over that.
Yeah, I'd kind of be all over that.
100%. I don't think he can do it.
No.
I think he's crossed the line with the boys.
Yeah.
But how good would he be as Wolverine?
Yeah.
He'd be so good at that.
He'd be good.
Do that, Marvel. Oh, what would you do if at Comic-Con next week they brought out Anthony Starr?
Oh my God.
I'd be a little bit gutted because he'd be finished and it'd be years till the next series of the boys.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the only problem. He'd be a really good Wolverine though. And he's Australian, New Zealand.
Yes.
Not that Wolverine is, I know that, but Hugh Jackman is. That's where I went in my head.
I think he's new. I don't know. I can't remember. But his fight with Maeve, when he stuck his thumb in her eye, mate.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Honestly, I was mortified. I was like, we cannot kill Maeve.
She's got it, yeah.
This is not okay.
Yeah, it led you to believe for a good 15 minutes, or probably not that long, but a good few minutes that this is it. This is Maeve over. Yeah. Did she make him bleed as well?
Yeah, she threw some amazing hits as well. It's like she's literally just geared up and gone, fuck this.
This is it. This is all out. If I die now, I'll die, but I'm taking you out. She doesn't have to hide the fact that she... I know she hasn't really hid the fact that she hates him, but she can completely
She's not been able
everybody know
to
now.
kind of let it out of her system either. So to be able to kind of swing serious punches at him and stuff.
She's full on gone for the kill.
She could hold her own a lot better than I thought she was going to be able to against him.
I know. But it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Because even Maeve's terrified of Homelander.
Yeah.
And I know, obviously, she only made him bleed a little bit. But he must have a really large degree of self-control, Homelander, for him not to be... Because he's obviously super powerful.
Yeah.
But for him not to just flip and destroy all these people, there's got to be an element of self-control there. I think he's got an enjoyment
about the fight.
Dragging it out.
Yeah.
It's
like a torment for him, in my opinion. I think that he just
is it just a case that the powers are a little bit up and down? Because that wasn't a sense of enjoyment when he had the three of them on him in Hero Chasm. That was like, shit, I'm going to die now, I need to get away. Yeah. So he can't be that powerful, can he? Maybe, I don't know. I can't judge how strong he is. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I thought Billy, doesn't matter how much V24 Billy has, he's never going to be able to hold his own against Homelander. And he did in Hero Gasm. So that's just, maybe it's just a bit undefined, if you get what I mean. But it makes for a better, if he was just all powerful, it wouldn't make for a good TV series. You want to see people like
there
Billy.
Needs to be a struggle. You can't just have it. He's going to kick ass every time.
Exactly, yeah. Otherwise, it's never going to go anywhere, and you're never going to beat him. Yeah. They're instilling that slight sense of this guy is beatable now, and that's what keeps you excited. Because if it was just 3 series of no one can touch the dude, then where's series 4 go?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? But yeah, it was brilliant, really, really good. All the fights, really, really good. So, Soldier Boy. Oh, so Soldier Boy, Billy, we saw them having a fight there, because obviously Soldier Boy wasn't arsed that Homelander was his son. That surprised me. Yeah. That he was just quite happy to kill him, because he just didn't want somebody else there, basically. Wasn't arsed about Ryan at all either. And so, he was happy to kill him. We got Starlight versus...
Well, we also had Ryan kind of stop Billy from fighting Homeland, didn't we?
Did we?
Yeah.
I can't remember that bit.
Yeah, because Billy held himself back because of the fact that Ryan Ryan stood in between him and Homelander.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
And he was like, leave my dad alone. And then he held Homelander's hand. And Billy just completely broke at that point. I think he was absolutely devastated. But we also had Starlight come in. I can't remember whether that was just before or just after. I think it was just after.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Going back to that bit to Billy, though, that's hard, because what he's done is, he was... I know I'm getting deep here, but he was like Ryan's father figure. Yeah. Even though we'd only just met him. Yeah. And he sacrificed that.
And Billy, the whole point was that
was to stop Homelander.
To his wife.
Well, it was to stop Homelander getting to him. Yeah. And by doing it, Homelander has got to him. This is his defeat. And now he's broken the link. Yeah. He's just completely broken at the end of the series. Yeah. It is. I was going to say next series would be the one where it's the dark ending, but to be fair, this is the dark ending.
I know. Well, I think that because we got those flashbacks with Billy as a kid and his brother. Yeah. I think this was his Andrew Garfield and Spider-Man thing, because he couldn't save the last one. He wanted to save this one. Yeah, I get what you mean. So I think that was also an element within it. Yeah. And to see that he failed, essentially.
Yeah, he did.
And that, it was hard hitting, I felt.
Yeah, it was. It's crazy how this show with all the blood and guts and sex and orgies and octopus blowjobs and all that sort of stuff
can be this deep
and quite upsetting to a degree as well. It can make you feel emotional. It's such good writing. Really, amazing. really good. Let's get back to Starlight. Starlight versus Soldier Boy. So, I nearly let this slip to you I can't remember what it was you were talking about. I don't know whether it was on the show. Remember a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh no, nearly ruined that. I didn't want to ruin her flying, but it was amazing. It was so I was good. Buzzing.
And what I loved was that it was Huey.
It was, yeah.
So Huey had that vial, didn't he? And he considered taking it to get in and teleport her out of there. And then he was like, I can save her without using this.
Exactly.
And so he literally turned all of the power up in that room.
Spot on.
Everything that he could do to give her as much electricity as he possibly could.
Yeah.
And she was glowing.
Oh, yeah.
And she took
when
off
she
from
took
the ground.
off the floor,
when she
I
left the
was
ground,
like,
I was
chills.
Like, yes!
Yeah, it was so good.
But to be honest, seeing as she had that much power, it didn't do a hell of a lot.
No, I know, yeah.
It still only knocked him on his arse. He didn't actually cut him. It didn't take him down for a good few seconds or anything like that. It knocked him back, and he got back up instantly.
Yeah.
So that again, that shows how much power he's got compared to her.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
But
she's gonna continue.
There was that whole full circle for Huey that he did still manage to save her in some way.
Yeah, because that was the story arc of the last two series. Clearly it was him wanting to save her, so I thought it was really, really well done. I enjoyed that, because when he picked up that V24, I was like, no, don't do it. I know, I was like that as well. Don't do it. But yeah, he didn't. I think again, really good. So I think she's going to progress even further through these series. She's going to learn to just be able. She's going to be able to fly now. Yeah, that's going to be her in season 4, and she's going to just get to the point where she's more powerful and more powerful.
I want it to be I know it's not exactly the same, but I'm starting to get Storm feels from her.
Stormfront?
No, Storm.
From Stormfront.
No, sorry. So I'm kind of getting those feels because it's electricity and then it's off the ground. But I'm hoping that it kind of goes in a little bit of a different direction, just so it's not too... I mean, I know she can't control the weather and stuff, but visually it looks similar. I think
with anything, and
it's hard because you can only have so many powers. There's only so many things that can be controlled.
And that's the thing, and I think I'm not going to spoil anything, but you'll know what I'm talking. If you know, you know. Yeah. Certain shows, when they can't think of too much to do from a story perspective, start giving people superheroes new powers and changing the powers. Yeah. Just purely to keep the plot going. Yeah. That's not a spoiler, is it? Well, it's not for this, but maybe for something else. But if you've seen it, you know. Yeah. And that's where I don't want it to go. Yeah. I want them to just progress these powers as much as they can without it being like a whole new power set or discovering that she was super powerful all along. Do you know what I mean? It needs to be like she's just strengthened her powers, but she's gone now from 100% to 110%, not now she's a god. Do you get what I mean?
You can do it differently where you can actually see her physically draw from something.
Yes.
If she puts her hand out and pulls the electricity from something without it needing to be on, or that kind of thing, just by having it there.
I would be okay with her drawing power from another soup.
Yes.
I don't think that'd be too much of a stretch.
No.
Do you get? Because she's drawing energy. Yeah. She's just drawing energy, so if she can draw that type of energy, I'd be okay with that. Let's get back to Maeve though. So Maeve's sacrifice.
Oh my god.
Kinda.
Right. This nearly killed me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
This is a Stranger Things moment.
Yeah. No, I love Maeve.
I don't love Maeve.
Don't you?
No.
No, I do.
I think she's extremely unlikable.
Do you?
I think that's what they're going for though.
No, I like her.
I don't. She irritates me. But she was more humanised because of what she did.
Yeah, no, but I was actually quite gutted that we didn't get a hell of a lot of her in this series.
No, she's been quite quiet for most
quite
of
a lot.
It. Yeah.
But I've always liked Maeve. I've enjoyed it the entire time. Season 1 and 2.
I think I was all right with her in previous series, but she just seemed to be very up and down. It's one moment she's she'd be a hero, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And quite noble, on the same sort of side as Starlight.
Yeah.
And then the next moment, she's just a complete bitch looking for, sorry, but she is, just looking for, just purely out for herself.
I don't think you can say anybody's not been an absolute bitch in this series at some point.
I know, yeah. I'm not using that how do I say that without saying it was in a derogatory way? That's what she's going for. That's what the character's going for. Do you get what I mean?
No, I get that.
And I get it, and it's a well-written character, but I get the impression, I see it as you're not supposed to You don't hate her like you do Homelander.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to entirely love her, and that's why they write her in the way.
I can't say I entirely love anyone except Huey. I do love Huey.
Yeah, I love Huey. I like Starlight as well. She's still
not. I like her badassery in this season. She annoyed me in the first two. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah,
she was a bit too like, oh, poor me, and I was just like, suck it up. You got powers. So as humans here who just have to scream and run.
I know. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And she's turned a hasn't she? Yeah.
So, but series 3 Starlight, I've absolutely loved
because she's changed. She's changed the character.
Yeah.
Let's get back. Sorry, let's get back to Maeve then.
Soldier Boy.
So he's just about to, after Starlight knocks him down.
Yeah, he essentially just goes, fuck this, doesn't he? And he's like, I'm just going to blow everyone up.
He's going to basically nuke the building.
Straight off, everyone's like, Ryan, the kid. We need to protect the kid.
Yes.
More than anybody else. Like, they're all like soups, we might be able to take it. I don't think everybody knows that it can take powers. Do we think? Is that how
I think it still causes explosion as well.
It still causes the explosion, but I mean, a lot of them think they're bloody indestructible, don't they?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
So, but... I
don't think Maeve did, though. Maeve thought she was a goner.
Well, and that's the thing. So I thought... to me, it looked like everyone was like, there's a kid in the building, you can't kill a kid.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of thing. So when Maeve did that look, and then I saw it all start to slow down, I was kind of like, oh no, don't do this to me now. And then obviously she just literally ran straight at Soldier Boy and flew him out the window.
Yeah.
Before he exploded.
No hesitation. Just quite happy. And again, it made sense because she was saying she doesn't want to be a soup anymore. She's
just fed up.
She doesn't want to be here anymore,
does she? Sick of it all, yeah. So, and then obviously, and I mean, that explosion, like that scene, the way they filmed that, of them falling out the window from a distance.
Yeah.
And then you see the explosion. Amazing.
Yeah. So really well done.
It. But I was sat there, God wide open. I was like, no. I can't
cope with it. I know.
We've already just had Black Noir. I can't cope with Maeve dying as well.
There's like 3 of them left. There's just the 3 now.
Yeah.
And 2 of them don't work for the vote anymore. But yeah, I mean, before we sort of go on, you mentioned like the shot when she falls down. There's the explosion.
Yeah.
I can't pick out anything in this series like bad CG.
No.
I think all the CGI in this series has been not perfect.
I'm trying to remember the CGI, and all I can think of is penises.
But do you know what?
Octopus.
Just things like that.
Yeah.
Flight.
Yeah.
So, laser eyes, all that sort of stuff, going through walls, that explosion and stuff like that. It's like we're watching, obviously, Ms. Marvel at the same time, and there's some moments in Ms. Marvel that I'm like, bloody hell, that's a bit crap. And that's you'd think that they'd have 10 times the budget of what the boys have got.
I mean, going back to the first episode again, when the tiny guy sneezed and essentially goes back to normal size and explodes the other guy from inside, that, like, CGI wise and all of that kind of stuff, however they did that, amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't question any of it at all.
The only thing that was a little not realistic looking was the knob answering the door. That looked a bit CGI. That looked like plasticine. I'll take it back. That's the one bit. But in general, even the CGI has been fantastic.
Yeah.
In this series.
Totally.
So Maeve then, she's not dead.
No.
Not dead. But
it made us think for a good 5 minutes.
It didn't feel like a cop-out.
No, it didn't.
I hate it. Again, not spoilers, not to spoil anything, but when they kill somebody and then they're not dead, that pisses me off.
Yeah.
But this didn't feel like a cop-out. Yeah. It kind of felt like a happy ending.
Yeah, she's got her arc there because she gets to now go and have that quiet life.
As a non-soup. Hopefully Homelander won't find her. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. But
I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I wouldn't be surprised if she had to take V at some point in the future and come back.
That's what potentially, yeah. But at the same time, a little bit, I mean, he's just like, that's Maeve done.
Yeah.
That's her story done. And if that is, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And I think if any show is going to leave it there for a character, it's going to be the boys.
Yeah.
They'll sit there and go, well, let's not drag her back into it and drag it out again.
Yeah.
I know they kind of did with Kimiko, but they've already done it with Kimiko.
Yeah.
So doing that again would just be repetitive, and it's not really a repetitive show. It stays fresh. So let's talk about the ending then.
The final scene.
So there's 2. So we've got Billy. Billy's got 1 year to live.
Oh yeah.
That is 1 year, isn't it? Is that what they say? 12 to 18 months?
I think so, yeah.
Something like that. And that's obviously from the effect that all the V24 has had on him. He's such a dangerous character now.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't give a shit anyway. He didn't anyway, but now Ryan. It's like, oh yeah.
He's not got Ryan now, and he's only got 18 months to live, so if he dies, he dies.
It's like, how can you make that character give a shit any less? And you can't now. That's it. He is just going to be going in, all guns blazing, which he was anyway, but that's it now. And I think that's... Again, we talked about like how far you're going to go with these seasons.
Yeah.
I like this because you can't carry on with the boys without Billy.
Yeah.
Don't, Amazon, if you're not the listeners to this, don't carry on when Billy dies. We don't. He's part of the series.
Do you think, though, that it might lead him to taking
full
standard V? Yeah.
No, I think he'll have one last. I think he'll keep it. Yeah. I think if we have 2 more seasons, we'll have 1 season of him not doing anything and just trying to manage the boys.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he's gonna have to go. He's gonna have to take V24. He's not just gonna die in a hospital bed, is he? From the effects of V24, he's gonna go out
with a bang.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%. And he joins the boys as well.
Yes,
which is great. I like that. Another suit on the team.
Yeah, love it.
It's good. It's really good the way it's going. And then we get the Homelander ending. Yeah. So we get Homelander, which again took me so much by surprise.
I was holy shit!
And it's not like a scary horror film, but it's scary.
You jump back to that moment at the beginning of this series when he went on stage and was like, "I don't give a fuck. I am more powerful than you," and all that kind of stuff. And it's that all over again because of the reaction he got last time. He's gone, I could push this again. Let's just see.
But you could see the look in his face. So just a reminder, he basically introduces Ryan. He comes down to the crowd because there's it's
all the protests and
stuff. Couldn't think of the word protest then. There's a protest going on. So there's the Starlight supporters going up against the Homelander supporters. He comes down, then he introduces Ryan, which again just surprised me because he's introducing the kid
out there.
And I know he's a soup, but it's still it's a risk to a degree.
Yeah, but Homelander pushed him off a roof to make him fly.
I know. It's just votes, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
And then someone throws a can at Ryan's head, don't they?
Yeah, and Homelander just blows him up.
But it's the pause.
After he did it or before?
Before he did it.
Oh yeah.
So it was that pause, and it's like he's totally calculating. Do I do this? Do I get pissed and do I? And then he was like,
I didn't see it that way. I thought with the pause, I would see it more of a don't blow his head up, don't blow his head up, don't blow his head up. Shit, now I've blown his head up. And then there was the shit.
I thought it was a calculated move. I thought he's gone.
Yeah, maybe, but I still think
I think he's gone. I want to rip his head off.
Yeah,
I want to absolutely destroy him.
I still think after he did it, there was that moment where he was like, "Shit, what have I done?"
Yeah. 100%.
What have I done? And then friggin' Todd, starts cheering.
Yeah.
MM's daughter's stepdad.
Yeah.
It's him, innit?
Yeah.
And he's cheering, and then everyone loves him. Everybody is cheering for him, and it's like, and he's buzzing off it. He's like, yeah, they love me.
And then we get a close up on Ryan.
Oh, with him smirking as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, this is okay, this is acceptable.
That made my skin crawl. That I was like, no. Oh no.
This is so dangerous now because everything that has ever held Homelander back from being evil god Superman is now gone.
Yeah.
And he's now got permission to be a complete bastard.
Do you reckon, is it Stan?
Stan Edgar.
Yeah. Do you reckon Stan's going to join the boys?
I hadn't thought of it, but yeah, I kind of like that.
I think he might, you know.
Yeah, he could do.
Because obviously he can't necessarily be in the public eye.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
At this point,
he could be like the benefactor.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He could be there funding.
Yeah, he could be, couldn't he?
Yeah,
yeah, I'd quite like that. And give him all the back information.
Yeah,
and you're just going to end up with like little alliances now. So maybe not with joining the boys, but Stan and Victoria Newman working alongside the boys purely for their own means, their own benefit.
100%.
But you sort of them both using each other. There's so many ways this could go, though. You could even end up with Ryan becoming the big bad, and it's like even Homelander's like, shit. Well,
this is why I was thinking about the time jump.
That's why I was thinking. I've literally got time jump as my next line, written down.
So that was my thought. I was like, what if we get a time jump of Ryan,
18-year-old Ryan?
Yeah, just hitting manhood, and he's just he's had a dad who's like Homelander essentially, like. So it could. we're talking apocalyptic potentially.
Yeah.
Like, and I'd be good with a series ending on an apocalypse.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. See, The Boys has never been that big. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like big apocalyptic fights and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. It's always been sort of.
But for a TV series, it could go there.
Yeah, it could do.
You could finish it off in that way, and it'd be brilliant. Everyone would be like, "Yes, amazing."
Yeah, I'm so excited. For
Mad Max style with soups at the end. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I'd be sound with that.
Such a good.
And then Huey still surviving and running around somewhere in the background.
Just Huey. He was the only one to survive this whole thing. Yeah. It's such a good series. I've enjoyed it so much.
Same. It's been amazing.
Absolutely brilliant. Massive step up from series 1 and especially season 2.
Yeah.
So glad it's been renewed for series 4.
Yeah.
And again, I think as long as they don't try and drag it out forever, I think it's definitely going to be up there with like one of the best superhero series.
Yeah. 100%.
Absolutely brilliant. Should we talk about Ms. Marvel episode 5? So, Time and Again, I think it's called.
Yeah.
The episode. Makes sense. I get that title.
Yeah.
I get that one.
Well done.
I'm alright with that one. So, I've literally just watched this.
Yes.
So, we're doing this. So, again, we're doing this on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
We normally record on a Thursday.
But we are off to see Thor
tomorrow. So, we are literally fresh off watching Ms. Marvel.
Yeah.
Before we sort of break it down, because we'll do a bit of a breakdown of the episode to a degree, but what are we thinking? Better?
So, yes, overall, yes.
I agree.
I think it's better. So, I feel like it started off strong.
Very strong,
I
think.
was really invested.
I was.
In
Aisha's
story.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant. I will go as far as saying I couldn't fault it. I really enjoyed the entire arc. I mean, I kind of knew where it was going because we know the story.
Yeah.
Obviously, we didn't know who she'd
5
meet,
and it can't really go much further now, can it?
But obviously, her meeting him, I knew he was obviously going to be the dad.
Yeah.
Like all of that kind of stuff. And I mean, obviously, we'll go back in and break it down. So we got through all of that, and I was like, okay, brilliant. And then we found out what we'd already kind of assumed in the last episode that Kamala was going to be the stars for the baby to get to dad. And then that happened.
That's where it went downhill.
Went back.
It made no sense.
And then the baddies killed themselves.
I know.
In about 30 seconds.
I don't get it.
And I was just like, oh,
it's just
she's been being chased by them for the last 3-4 episodes.
I know.
And then they've suddenly just gone, oh, well, there's a crack open now, so let's just walk in.
Exactly.
And die, even though she'd just watched the other one.
But at the same time, and we'll go in a bit more detail, but I'm glad that wasn't the ending of the series.
Yes, and me.
If that had been the end of the series, I'd have been like,
what is that?
And
this is the thing, so for me,
weak.
We then got that last scene with Bruno and
Cameron.
And that made me go, what's this?
Yeah.
And then it ended, and I was like, well, I am actually invested in watching the next episode now.
I am a little bit.
I want to know what that was.
For the first time in the series.
Exactly.
To be
so
honest.
I was kind of like, okay. So for me, overall, it was really strong. It started really strong. The story was really good.
Yeah.
I loved the bit of background information. I love that they've talked about kind of the British. And do you know what? Can I also say I didn't realise that it was during World War II.
No, I didn't.
So when it said 1942, and I was like, how have we got enough people to be going to India?
You got to wonder, haven't you?
While we're fighting a war against Germany. I was totally
while the world's all looking this way, do we go and do we go and do that? And that's what I was thinking.
It's the colonising thing, and it's the...
Exactly.
It's the whole... I mean, we've talked about this before, generally in the British history books.
Yes.
None of this is touched on.
Exactly.
None of the big bad stuff that we did over the centuries.
They don't teach any of that. They just teach us about how we kicked Hitler's ass in World War II.
Yeah.
I had to think then, World War II. But yeah, none of this is covered. And I really appreciate the fact that as well as us learning the culture, we're learning a bit about the history.
Our own history.
Yeah. And not in a good way, our own history. No. But you know happy that we're learning it.
Nobody can say that they've got a clean history with their country. Nobody can say that. And what's the point in hiding it? It's done. It's in the past. Learn about it. That's how you learn from your mistakes. It's by hiding it that the same mistakes are made again and again. So I really appreciated that we got that bit of the story as well. Not just their family story, but the entire historical pinpoint of it all as well.
But we did get the family story. So we got Aisha's story, didn't we? And as much as that was 15 minutes of an episode, and again, right, this isn't a slight against Iman Vellani because I think she's brilliant as Kamala Khan. It's more of a dig at the writing. I was more invested in the 15 minutes of Aisha's of her story, and how she became, Nanny's mum.
When she got stabbed, I was like,
cared.
No.
I know, yeah.
Like
yeah.
I was
Even though you knew it was coming to a degree, you knew something was going to happen.
I knew something was going to happen. I actually honestly thought she was either going to be taken or she was going to disappear. And I didn't know whether we were going to see her now as like a really old lady at some point.
I thought she might be like trapped somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But no, dead. And I was
completely dead.
I was gutted because I was invested, and it's the first time in the series that I have been, and that's why for me, I'd arguably say this has been the best episode so far.
I would 100% say this has been the best.
Because I really enjoyed episode 2, to be fair.
But I still think this was better.
I did.
And there wasn't even loads of action in it. It didn't need to be action. No. It needed to be just us actually doing the writing and creating the story and giving us a bit of character depth.
Yeah.
That didn't feel forced, and it just felt, because a lot of all the conversations that they've had between like Kamala and her mum and the nan and the dad and all that sort of stuff, it's felt like we said in the previous episode, like you're just throwing stuff in to try and give us loads of information about Kamala's culture, and that's not my problem. I want to learn more. I love the fact that we learn about the history. I want more of it. It all just feels shoehorned in to a degree. This whole progression,
it needs to have a relevance at the same time to the story.
Exactly. It needs to feel natural.
Yeah.
I learned so much about Aisha's character in the first couple of minutes. She went from, and I use the term not in that way, but inhuman, because she wasn't like, she didn't have any character to her, and she was very cold.
Yeah.
To very quickly over what we saw as being minutes on screen.
Yeah.
Developing feelings for her husband and becoming a mum,
changing her entire mind about going back as a gin,
and becoming more human.
Yeah.
And it just shows what they've done in that tiny space of time, whereas they've tried to drag the rest of the story out over a really long period, and it's just been boring in my opinion.
Yeah, the only other bit that I'd say I was a little bit disappointed with was the reaction to Kamala's power from her mum. Yeah,
it was kind of like,
after she's been going on all the series about, we don't talk about that person, they're in their fantasy world.
Exactly.
And it was too small.
But it didn't make sense either, because when she found out, when she found out, because she used the tracker, didn't she? She was like, find my iPhone or something to track Kamala down. And afterwards it made sense, because she had the conversation with Kamala and the nan, and that was the, okay, I'm all right with this. I need to stop being so controlling of my daughter. I need to enjoy the fact that you are a bit weird and wonderful and you're not the norm as to what I wanted you to be. But that's good. That's your character, and I love you for it. And I like that, and that made sense. But the reaction before that should have been bigger.
Yeah.
And then it got to that. It should have been more of an argument rather than, I'm all right with
just
the
seeing these powers.
Superhero.
Brilliant.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't have thought that would have been her initial reaction, because again, she made a point of saying, I'm finding it hard to watch you grow up and let you go.
Exactly.
So that should have been like a frightening moment for the mum, really, because she's coming to her own now. That's her daughter being a woman. Do you know what I mean?
Superhero.
And that. So I didn't enjoy that reaction. That was probably my down point of the episode.
And I don't think it was the acting. I think it was just the writing. You sort of half expected us to go, I knew it was you all along, but that wasn't even hinted at either. But that's the reaction you'd expect from somebody who already knew what was going on. Should we backtrack a little bit? Obviously, we had, like we said, we sort of guessed last week that she was going to be the one who got Nanny on the train.
Yeah.
So that, I was completely all right with it, though. I kind of enjoyed that. So I was good with it. It worked well, and the whole sort of time jump back and her meeting Aisha and don't die, you need to save Nanny. And I like that sort of Kamala having to step up moment. I thought it was really well done. Then we got to this.
Well, it's a nice thing, because it's the whole, her family's only where they are because of her.
Because of her,
If she hadn't have intervened, they wouldn't be the family that they are today.
Yeah. It's a bit Back to the Future paradoxy, but whether it makes complete sense or not, I don't know. If I think about it too hard, it'll give me a headache.
Yeah.
But then after she saved her, we ended up back in this alleyway.
Yes.
And that's when it all went a little bit downhill again. And like you just said, it was over so quickly. There was a bit of a moment because but again, I don't know if I like this moment because Cameron's mum sort of went from evil and I'll kill anybody to, I'm going to do this for Cameron and I'm
evolving. It was just like a quick switch.
Yeah,
and you couldn't get with it. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And that, again, that's the bit that I don't know whether it's been rushed because they've only done it in 6 episodes.
But it didn't need to be rushed.
No, it didn't.
Because there's so much.
There's so much that they could have taken out that wasn't needed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get with it. That's the thing. Certain things feel massively rushed.
Yeah.
I don't think the whole introduction to Aisha felt rushed. It felt absolutely perfect, to be perfectly honest.
100%.
I think it would have carried a lot more weight if they built the rest of the series up for us to actually give a shit as soon as it started.
Yeah.
Because it didn't at first.
Yeah,
when it first started, I was like, I've got to go back and see this now.
Yeah,
but it was really, really good. But they could have hooked us onto that and had us waiting for, can't wait till we find out what's happened. Can't wait till we find out what's happened. I didn't really care too much. But yeah, again, that jump from Cameron's mum being, I'll kill anybody, I'll kill you. I killed Aisha however many years ago, and then she just became mum again, having just dumped Cameron at the prison and saying, "I have no son." Yeah, it's a very big turn, and I know it's been a whole episode for us, but it was seconds for her. Yeah. She's gone from literally just killing somebody. Yeah, because she did the red dagger dude. Yeah, to I'm okay now. I know, and that's the bit that rubs me up the wrong way. Exactly. And it didn't even explain why the veil was now open. No. All of a sudden, this veil's now open, and it's just I assume it was the Kamala going back in time and coming back again. It's broke ripped. Something in reality. Yeah. But and I don't need to explain but the fact that I'm having to come up with that myself rather than it kind of being not obvious and on the nose necessarily, but understandable. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Do you know? Yeah. You get all we're doing now is guessing. Yeah. We don't know. No. We don't know. There was no sort of like previous hints, and we don't actually know what it was because it just killed people. So was it? I don't know. Was it a gateway to the other place? Like, I don't know. There's just no. They've not done anything. They've not done anything previous. It's like, right, gotta go. In my head, then I went back to Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. So Guardians of the Galaxy, at the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy is that they all hold the Power Stone and they all have to touch each other because it takes 5 people to hold it and control the power. Yeah. And we knew that from the information we got earlier on in the film from the Collector and watching that video. And I think I'm pretty good at putting things together, but I didn't get that onto the fact when I originally watched Guardians that was going to happen. Yeah. But I still had the information in my head so that when they started doing it, I was like, shit, that's what they're doing. Yeah. With this, there was nothing. No. It was just like, there's a portal open now. Why is there a portal open? Don't know. Have a guess. Yeah. Whatever. Why do you think it's open? That's right. Yeah. That's why. Yeah. So it just didn't make complete sense. The ending, like you said, so we got Cameron getting his mum's powers. Yeah, I think she's transferred her powers to him because he said he wasn't a. But were they her powers? Did you see her use those powers in the whole series? No. Did the powers come out of the veil? Did she unlock what he already had? I think the powers came out of the veil and went to him. No, I don't think that happened. I don't know. I don't get what I don't know whether, as his mum, she has the power to unlock the next generation's powers. Maybe, yeah, because now she's gone. He's the next generation. So maybe that'd make sense. So maybe she's kind of on that little spell thing was to get it. We're guessing. Yeah. There should be something. There could have been some. Is it juxtaposition? Is that the right word? I don't know. No? Okay. Sounds good though, doesn't it? Sounds good. Sounds like we know what we're talking about. There should have been something, and maybe there was, because a few moments in previous episodes I've sat there scrolling on my phone because I was bored. But there should have been something. I didn't pick my phone up this week. I actually watched the whole episode. No, I watched it. It hooked me. I had to pause it at the end because somebody was knocking on my door. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Literally 45 seconds. I know, yeah. There should have been something from the leader of the Red Daggers to explain about jinns that the powers passed down from each generation. Yeah. If that's what it is. Also, when that happened, I thought, right, Cameron's the big bad for the last episode. That's where I thought he was going. Okay. He's going to want to avenge his mum. He's going to want to fight Kamala. That's it. Clearly, that's not where it's going. No. Because he seems like a pretty cool dude now. He's mates with Brian / Bruno. Well, him getting them, it's not like an automatic realisation that his mum's gone either. No, I suppose he could still go. I need to wait here for her for when she comes back. He could still flip out, couldn't he? Yeah. So I don't know. Where are we going with the last episode of this? Who does the drone belong to? The ODC? Is it definitely that? I assume so. It was the same drone as last time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
But then why would it attack them straight off? Because Cameron's literally just got them powers. Literally
and
just
track the powers instant that quick.
That's very quick because it took him a while to get to Kamala in the first place.
Right. In my opinion, now the bad guys in the bad guy. There's got to be a big bad guy for the last episode. There's got to be. It can either be Cameron or somebody we've not met and not had any hints at. Because it's not even like we're sitting there going Mephisto. I know we made a joke about it last week, but we're not, are we? It's not like, oh, could it be Mephisto that we've had teased all the way through?
Yeah,
there's nothing. I have no idea what's going to be the end, other than Department of Damage Control accidentally blowing something up. I think that's what it's going to be. You know, I think it's going to be something like Damage Control come after Cameron, and Kamala gets back, and she's got to go and save the pair of them. And like the drones all go mental and start blowing up all over the place. I feel like it's going to be something as crap as that makes no sense.
But that will just essentially be a rehash of Spider-Man.
No Way Home.
No, not No Way Home. Far From Home.
But this whole series feels like, let's just put something together to introduce this character of Kamala Khan so that people know who she is in the Marvels.
Yeah,
that's my whole feeling of this.
Process.
I know.
I mean, it is fresh in some ways because, again, you know, the cultural differences and things like that. The music, again, was brilliant in this episode.
Yes, it was really good.
I really enjoyed the music.
I like the opening as well, where they made the Marvel logo back to like 1940s, like Bollywood type thing.
Yeah, that really enjoyed all of that.
Yeah.
And I also love the fact that they turned it into the film strip.
They
as
did,
well.
yeah.
And it kind of went the sepia.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Colours.
Yeah.
So
juxtaposition, sepia, bloody hell, big words.
Like all of that I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I just feel like the idea of the baddies and the issues that we could be hitting are rehashes of what we've already seen.
Yeah. It just doesn't feel like there's any point to the series other than to introduce her.
An introduction.
And all the separate parts are good.
If this is a prelude to the Marvels, and the Marvels is fantastic,
yeah,
I'll actually be okay with it. If the payoff from the Marvels is good, then yeah, I'll be okay with it. But if I'm totally honest, I think Kamala, Ms. Marvel, deserves more than she's been given.
I agree. I think she's a fantastic character.
Yeah.
She's a really good actress, Iman Vellani.
Yeah.
I think everybody in the series has been good, as much as Bruno does my head in.
They've all been
good.
No one's been bad. Like, everybody's been good. It just seems like the actual writing of it's not been the strongest.
I think that's it. That's it. But I think it's all just being used as a setup.
Yeah.
As a setup for that. And if it is, if we can go into the Marvels not having to learn, you know, how to do the whole introduction, it gives us a bit of an element of caring, I suppose, for Kamala, then yeah, fair play. It just feels like a bit of a waste. Feels like they could have done more.
Do you still think we'll get Brie Larson next episode?
No, not now, I don't know.
No, I don't.
No.
I still think we could get Monica Rambeau instead because of a link to Sword.
Yeah.
With the DODC, maybe.
Yeah, maybe,
if she turns up with Sword and be like,
coming and being like, what are you? Yeah, I could see that happening, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, though.
Or I'll take you to safety. We've got a space station.
Well, the cameo that we talked about in series 1, in episode 1, that I didn't say on the podcast, I don't even think I told you who it was. I can't figure out how that's gonna appear. Yeah. I won't spoil it because we're an episode away now. But yeah, maybe we'll get that. If it doesn't happen, I'll tell you. I think who we all thought it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it does happen, it'll feel a little bit shoehorned in at this point.
Yeah,
a little bit. But yeah, I think good episode.
Yeah,
good. Not perfect.
I genuinely really enjoyed this episode. I was hooked to it. You know, it was strong beginning, a good ending. That little dip in the middle for that. It was that one scene just between her changing her mind and becoming good all of a sudden, and the reveal to her mum. Like, that was the only bit that 5
minutes in the middle. Yeah. Even
everything
the ending with Bruno and Cameron
it was good. It was a strong
funny.
ending. Yeah,
it was good writing that. The Nikola Tesla poster, and he's like, "Oh, are you into cars?" I literally laughed at that. I thought that was quite good.
Yeah,
it was a well written episode. Apart from that little bit,
in the middle.
But again, I think it's weak writing around that villain.
Yeah,
because Cameron's mum as a villain she should be and I suppose she still could be, but she should be the general to the big villain, but we've not had any inkling that she's working for somebody else or anything like that. So I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know. I'm excited for the finale now, though. I'll be dead honest.
I am.
I've got no idea what to expect. Apart from Kamala suiting up, because that's going to happen. And then Mum's going to give her the costume.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. And Mum's going to make her the costume or give her the costume.
Yeah.
And she'll suit up. That's going to be it.
Do you reckon she'll make a joke about making sure she's covered up?
Something like that.
And not being too sexy.
Yeah. That'll be good. Well, we've seen, you can see her if you want to in a full suit. So there is...
I think I have seen it, to be fair.
There's the Disney Wish cruise. So there's a Disney Wish cruise. I don't know whether it's doing like the sort of like the testing or anything like that. But there's a 19-minute Avengers movie on the cruise.
Oh, right,
that you can only see. Yeah, so you can only see it on the cruise. I've watched the entire thing on YouTube, and Kamala's in that, fully suited as Ms. Marvel. So she's in that, and she's good.
Yeah.
She's good. You see her using her powers and all that sort of stuff. She's good. That's not a spoiler. You know she's not going to die in the next episode, and she's going to become Ms. Marvel. So it's not. But if you want to go and watch it, if you want to leave it until after it, you can find it dead easy.
Yeah, I might watch it after the.
Doesn't spoil anything. She's just there fighting.
Yeah.
But it's boss has got Ant-Man, the Wasp. Literally, it opens with Ant-Man making excuses as to why he didn't go up Thanos' arsehole. So it doesn't work that way. Who else is in it? Captain Marvel's in it.
Yeah.
And the Falcon.
Okay.
Oh, not the Falcon. Sorry, Captain America, who gets referred to as Cap by everybody.
Really?
Even Captain Marvel. Yeah. So it's really it's not great, like, but it's decent enough. It's a 19-minute Avengers movie on a ship while you're eating your dinner.
Yeah.
Literally, it's in the dining hall when you're doing it. But yeah, it looks good. So again, she looks good in that.
Yeah.
Suit looks good. Again, acting brilliant because Iman Vellani is really good.
Yeah.
And again, the use of her powers in it looks really good as well. So I'm really excited to see. But it's still got that cheap element to it.
Yeah.
Because it's a 19-minute movie on a cruise, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when that then eventually comes to the movies and the Marvels, I'm really looking forward to that. But
Me too.
Hopefully it can have a really, really strong
finish
because it's not had a strong start.
No.
Let's be honest. Should we see what the listeners think? Should we do Pod Fans Assemble?
Yeah.
Pod Fans Assemble.
Okay, so we started with the poll time. What did you think of Ms. Marvel episode 5? 74% loved it.
Okay.
17% said it was okay. 9% hated it.
Okay.
That's on the high side of the hated still.
It is. I'd put myself between it was okay and I loved it.
Yeah.
Which is good for me because the previous ones it's been in the bottom. Yeah. It's been between the bottom two.
I enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it.
Yeah,
I did enjoy it. Yeah, it was good.
So we had a comment from Kenneth saying, I really love this week's Ms. Marvel. I know, Ant and Nick, you are not digging the show, but I love the heart of this show and its story of family separated and now rejoined. And now that Kamala is not their head in the clouds teenager, but on the ground level, facing reality woman that they have left things for in a final and interesting way. For once, I'm actually glad I can't predict how a Disney MCU show is going to end.
Yeah.
Look forward to hearing your thoughts, even if you're wrong.
Well, we're right this week, Kenneth, because we kind of liked it.
Yeah. I
agree.
Again, I don't know how it's going to end.
No idea where this is going.
No.
I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I've got an idea.
If this is the one occasion where it is Mephisto, I'm going to be fuming.
I think I'd be all right with it now.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be angry.
As long as do you know what? If they bring in Mephisto, I'd be very surprised. But as long as that wasn't the use of Mephisto and then she kills Mephisto at the end, can you imagine? Yeah. Can you imagine Mephisto pops up halfway through the episode and she kills him? I'd be devastated.
I'd be so upset.
What a waste.
I'd be like, no.
I think I'd be alright with it.
Not my Mephisto.
I think I'd be alright with it just for your reaction next week.
Oh, I'd be fuming. I don't think I'd get over that for quite some time. So John Camelot said, it felt like the first half could have been trimmed down a lot. Found myself looking to my phone too much until Kamala showed up like 20 minutes in.
Okay.
That does surprise me.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the best parts.
Yeah. It also felt kind of rushed in a redemption that came out of nowhere. Agreed.
Yeah, completely.
Definitely. Just hoping we actually see a costume before the last shot.
Yeah,
we will.
We will. We're going to see a fight in there.
Yeah.
I think I don't agree with what he said about the opening 20 minutes being boring.
Yeah.
Because again, as we said, we enjoyed it. But it's like I just said, I reiterate it, they didn't do enough to hook us in to care what was happening straight away.
Yeah.
It should have been that we've been waiting for that moment and to see the history for 4 episodes, and they just didn't do enough to build it up.
He then finished with, I loved the first 2 episodes, but felt it kind of dropped off the past 3. Hoping it'll improve for the finale, though I guess they're just fighting drones now.
Yeah.
And again, that's the Far From Home feel for me, because that's all it was essentially.
Been done. Weak plot, weak baddies, if that's where they go.
Superior said, it was great. Nice and simple.
Yeah, I'm right with that.
Sheldon Pink said, I quite like how this episode ran. It wasn't the most action-packed, but story-wise it was solid and an emotional look into the family history. The ending had me swearing at the screen, as I now have to wait a week for the finale and find out what happened to Brian and Cameron. I genuinely thought your name was Brian. It was so funny.
I like it.
And again, that banter, that was good. Like, it was good right in there. But I totally agree.
Yeah.
Ronan said, my favourite episode so far is the first time in many times since I felt some emotion watching a show movie, and I'm really loving this.
Do you know what? I did a little bit. You know when Aisha died?
Yeah.
And Kamala was crying and saying, you can't die, you have to help, whatever Nanny's real name is.
Yeah.
I was a bit, not like Stranger Things level, but a little bit of me was like, but that's quite...
me up a little bit.
Yeah, it did, a little bit, yeah. Which has surprised me because I have not given a shit for this for 4.5 episodes. So, but I was quite taken aback by that. But
no, I agree. And finally, Clifford McCall said, watched with my daughter Cara. I think we both was hoping for more in the way of action, but I was a bit like that at first as well.
Yeah.
But on a positive, that's the backstory sorted. I know they only have limited time to squeeze in so much in every episode, and trying to put in the emotion of history left to a quick and flat ending.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Do you think this would have been better if they drip fed all this past stuff with Aisha throughout the rest of the episodes?
Yes.
Like giving us a fight. I know it would have taken us back to Boba Fett.
I would have loved to have seen that and not understood who she was and what it was about.
Oh, that would have been so good.
Would it
have been too complicated?
I don't
for the
know.
Younger audience,
maybe, and I think that's probably why they haven't gone down that route.
Yeah,
but I would have loved to have thought we're watching two different stories, and then
they
just
come together at the end.
Towards the end, it
would have been
brilliant.
Spot on that. But it would have been too complicated for the 7+ audience, and it would have been very like Boba Fett flashbacks and the flashback the tank. Do you know what I mean? So that's supposed the other danger. But yeah, it would have worked so much better if they drip fed that all the way through and kept us guessing at who it was.
And that's everyone.
That's us. Bit of a shorter Pod Fans Assemble this week because we've not given
jumped in a day
time.
early. I know.
As Peter Parker says, it is Wednesday, my dudes. Do the scream. I was waiting for the noise then, but he didn't do it.
Which one?
I've not seen that Vine. It is Wednesday, my dudes. You've not seen it with the dude in the goggles.
Yeah. Sorry,
It's all right.
Oh, that one annoys the hell out of me. I don't like it at all.
Oh, that's my favourite Vine. It's on the other one that I sent you the message about the other day. Anyway, before we wrap up, we'll do the patron shout-outs. So thanks to Geeky8, Kenneth, Night Spearhead, Richard, Jessica, and new patron, Avid Gamer, for supporting the show. Welcome to the family. Is that weird? Crew?
The pod family.
Oh, yeah. Ish. No. I'm not feeling it.
I'm going
Anyway, patrons get exclusive access to our bonus podcast, Into the Podverse, with new episodes every month. This month we've done Star Wars ranking, or last month we did Star Wars ranking and Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 1.
Yeah.
This month we will be doing Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2, if Anthony can hold himself together for it. And we will also be doing Umbrella Academy Season 3. I finally finished that. Did I tell you I finished it?
No.
Yeah, I finished that the other day.
Amazing.
Good. I enjoyed that. Spoilers. They also get access to our Discord server and merch discounts, and you get all that for just £4 or $5 per month. If you'd like to access all the extra content and support the show, you can head over to thatsuperherothing.com/Patreon or hit the supporters link in the episode description. Otherwise, thanks for listening. Don't forget to come back next week for our review of the Ms. Marvel finale. Just Ms. Marvel next week, no boys. I'm going to have to spend a little time on that one. Plus, all the latest comic book movie news. If you don't already, make sure to check out our socials at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram as well for all the latest updates on the show and calls to action for next week's Pod Fans Assemble. I know we've already said it, but if you're not already following us and you enjoy the show, please subscribe or follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you are. And if you've got time, leave us a rating and a review. Other than that, though, that's pretty much it. Feels weird recording on a Wednesday night. But yeah, it's all for a good cause. Thor tomorrow. Are you excited?
I cannot wait.
Going to be the best Marvel movie ever. in the middle, or not very good.
I'm just excited for more Korg.
I just miss Korg. I'm in a Korg series.
Yeah.
Korg and Luis.
Yeah.
I could well watch that. Right, other than that, though, guys, thanks very much for listening. See you next week.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.